Well, as if admitting defeat, Disney and Lucasfilm seems to be winding down Star Wars The High Republic. Because remember, it was a massive success, huge success, in fact. You know, those books were just flying off the shelves. Sorry, I'm just choking on the bullshit. Yeah, so interesting. Now, this is obviously just a rumour, but it's not a far-flung stretch to the imagination. So let's take a look at this. Guys, hit subscribe if you're new here. The High Republic was essentially Lucasfilm's attempt to re-canonize or reintroduce a new canon. I mean, it was nonsense. It was absolute garbage. Do you remember they had a rock? A rock was a character. A rock, everyone. What on earth? It's not Pokemon, for goodness sake. Christ. Anyway, so here you have it, a report over on Banning into Comics, and it says, rumour, Disney winding down Lucasfilm's The High Republic Publishing Initiative. Now, I think what's funny about this is the Star Wars The Acolyte, although you have heard from certain people that this is not happening, it is happening. Anyone that says that is an idiot. You know, that series is based off the back end of the High Republic. So if this is true, it is a massive admission of defeat, and it'll be interesting to see, you know, whether the Acolyte. I mean, it's shot anyway, so they're not going to change anything. But it'll be interesting whether they start to push that in the marketing material as something still pertaining to the High Republic anyway. So a new rumour claims that the Walt Disney Company is giving orders to Lucasfilm to wind down their High Republic publishing initiative. And here you go. Star Wars The High Republic, Light of the Jedi. I mean, God. Very uninspired, isn't it? You know, this is, you would type this into an AI and this would be the thing that you just get out. Give me generic Star Wars. This is what it would it would create for you. So Star Wars The High Republic was initially announced in February of 2020 and was expected to launch in the summer of 2020. However, due to COVID-19, Lucasfilm Publishing Creative Director Michael Siglain announced the initiative would not release until January of 2021. And as for what the publishing initiative is, Vice President of Franchise Content and Strategy James Woe explained it as a golden age where there is much more peace and calm in the galaxy. So we're calling it the High Republic. That doesn't make any sense. That's pathetic. Bizarre. Anyway, the description that we've used for the Jedi of this era is that they are the Jedi Knights of the Round Table. God. It's a bit of a Wild West. New frontier. These don't make any sense. It's a golden age. It's a Wild West. A new frontier. There's more peace and calm. It's a Wild West. Does anyone compare the Wild West to peace and calm? Because I don't. We see a different kind of Jedi that patrols the frontiers and is more of a Texas Ranger. God. Absolute trash. And they've got to have that very, very specific side haircut as well. Why not? There was actually there was a fair few individuals that had that all at the exact same time. Again, it's as if an AI just pushed this crap out all at the same time. The story of this era was to be told across multiple publishers, with Siglain explaining Star Wars The High Republic is a massive, interconnected, cross-publisher initiative that will establish an all-new era of Star Wars storytelling, set 200 years before the events of the prequel trilogy. This mega story will give readers and Star Wars fans of every age an entry point into the High Republic, a time of galactic renaissance when the Jedi Knights were at their height. There's a lot of contradictions in here. Anyway, he also revealed that the initiative would be broken into 3 different phases. Phase 1 being Light of the Jedi, Phase 2, Quest of the Jedi, Phase 3, Trials of the Jedi. The first book from author Charles Soule was titled Light of the Jedi and arrived in January of 2021. It didn't do very well either. So as noted above, the publishing initiative currently consists of 2 phases, with plans for the 3rd phase launching later this year. So the first phase had a bunch of novels: Light of the Jedi, The Rising Storm, Fallen Star, all like young adult novels as well. Into the Dark, Out of the Shadow, Midnight Horizon. I mean, these just sound like emo bands, don't they? There are also the middle grade novels: A Test of Courage, Race to the I thought they said Crash Point there. Cash Point, sorry. Race to the Cash Point Tower. I'm gonna get that ATM. Anyway, the Great Jedi Rescue and Showdown at the Fair. At the Fair? Anyway, and there was all a bunch of other comic book stuff as well. So the first phase also included reference books, art of Star Wars The High Republic, and an illustrated archive, blah blah blah, Tempest Runner. I mean, look at this. God, it's trash. So phase 2 had a whole bunch of other, emo names. Convergence, Cataclysm, Path of Deceit, Path of Vengeance. When you look at this with that framing that it could be an emo band title, that's utterly hilarious. Quest for Planet X. Anyway, so it's not done very well, basically. Star Wars Celebration in April, Lucasfilm announced Phase 3 would feature 3 adult series. The Eye of Darkness, Temptation of the Force, and Trials of the Jedi, and would also include several young adult novels. Defy the Storm, again, emo band. Tears of the Nameless, emo band. Into the Light, emo band. In fact, Christian emo band. 3 junior novels were also announced, and they include Escape from Valo, Beware the Nameless, and A Valiant Vow. A Valiant Vow. Fucking hell. Anyway, the ongoing High Republic comic series would continue into Phase 3 with the character Vernestra appearing in the live-action High Republic series, The Acolyte. There you go. All absolute poop. But anyway, WDW Pro has now revealed Disney Lucasfilm Press is apparently being given orders from Disney, not from Lucasfilm, but Disney proper, that it is time to wind down the High Republic and it is time to wind down young adult novel releases. Probably because they're not doing very well. I don't know exactly what that means. I don't know if that means that immediately the High Republic will cease to get releases, that Phase 3 is the final phase for this push that they've had. It's been completely unsuccessful in about every way you can imagine. We're told, by the way, folks, that the latest issue of the High Republic, and I don't know exactly what that is, but we're told that that issue has only moved 60,000 units total, which is just terrible for Star Wars, and it is. God, that's bad. So as for the idea that the High Republic is struggling, novelist Michael Gallagher and Declan Finn on their upstream reviews Substack noted that the High Republic saw a 90% to 95% drop in sales between the launch of Light of the Jedi and the current High Republic novels. I mean, that is awful. And that's in barely 2 years. That's fucking terrible. Since Disney's takeover of the property, only 4 books have broken 100,000 copies in sales. Besides the aforementioned Light of the Jedi, 3 of them were written by Zahn. And the 5th and final was the first Chuck Wendig novel, whose sales wibbled and wobbled their way into a ditch with the following books. That is real bad. That is real bad. So in terms of Zahn's numbers, the 5 of them have easily outsold every High Republic novel, and the 6th is only outsold by Light of the Jedi. Goodness me. So whether or not the rumour is true, the High Republic era will continue on outside of the publishing initiative because of the Acolyte. And then Quantic Dream and Lucasfilm also announced Star Wars Eclipse, which is an upcoming video game in development during the High Republic era. I'm surprised they're still continuing on with this, but I mean, the fact that they're cancelling, all of these novels, that is an admission of defeat. It is just going, yeah, okay, we're done. This isn't working. We need to get rid. Quick, cut off the gammy hand, sapid energy. The dead branch of the tree, as it were. So it is absolutely an admission of defeat, and a hilarious one at that, I will say. But it'll be interesting to see what happens moving forwards, whether they choose to continue anything, whether they choose to sort of slyly distance themselves. But it's a shame, because Star Wars novels used to be pretty big. They were big, and comics and stuff. This is a brand that is now destroyed. It's dead. It's done. Can they rectify it? Can they bring it back? Probably not. I can't imagine that they will. But let me know what you think down below. Bit of Disney hilarity on this wet, stormy day in the UK. Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.